Hey all, Heber here. Okay, so I'm kind of returning to my roots here, so to speak, by playing Atago, because it is without a doubt the ship I've spent the most time in the game in total. I have more than 2,500 battles in this ship here. And when Legendary tier came out, this ship here seemed to struggle a little bit, so I kind of stopped playing it for pretty much more than a year now. But then the last few days, I actually started playing it again, and I actually did pretty well in it. And I thought, okay, what's going on here? And I kept playing it, and I kept playing it, and then I played it again, and I played it even one more time, and I actually had a good time, and it kind of feels better. I don't know if anything changed or anything like that, but it can pretty much hold its own again. And I mean, I don't know why, or maybe it's just because it took a while to get used to you can't really bully the legendary battleships the same way as you can bully an Iowa, for example, in Atago. Perhaps I just got used to that, and I don't know. But in any case, the ship is quite great now. It's actually a lot of fun to play, and even though this battle here is a bit like special because I just prey on cruisers mostly. I played a lot of battles, and I have a lot of videos in the last few days, and it's doing well. It really is doing well. So who knows? But what can I say? I had a good time in the last 3 or 4 days playing this ship, and it's not very often I can say that. Really, it's really only Edinburgh I can say that about. Speaking of Edinburgh, like this playstyles are entirely different. Obviously, they are both agile builds, but with Atago, you cannot push into caps the same way you would do in Edinburgh. You just don't have the armor to do it, and you don't have the agility, although Atago is very agile. It's just very long. And the turning radius is also massive at 790 meters. That's longer than some battleships. So the rudder is fast. On this build here, 1.8 seconds, and you can go more than 40 knots. And that's pretty much it. I haven't changed anything about the ship or the build. This is the same build I've been using for, well, I guess nearly 3 years now. And it has served me well. And it continues to serve me well. Definitely. So I'm gonna stick with it until we get some super Beeple, like the Japanese version of Beeple or something like that, and maybe I'll change my mind. But as it is now, it's definitely not bad. So most people, myself included, usually use HE on Atago, because even the mere act of switching to AP is quite a gamble on this ship, because you have a 15-second reload. So in those 15 seconds, if your target changes direction or does something that makes AP useless, then you have wasted a salvo, really. And wasting a salvo in Atago is bad, because you don't get many of them. You only get a little bit less than 4 per minute, and that's it's better than battleships, obviously, but it's still not very good. But on the other hand, the alpha damage, if you hit with all your guns, is just pretty much terrifying in this ship here. And of course, you have your fantastic torpedoes, especially the front torpedoes. Those are the ones that I love to use. So here is a rare moment, except for this battle here. I'm switching to AP, because this Montpellier here, he's just asking for it. And there we go. And the AP is actually very, very good on Atago. The only problem is that you need your targets to be flat broadside on, like this guy here. Otherwise, the AP doesn't bite. And that's another, problem. And then we're just gonna finish him off here. That's another problem, because it's rare that you are that lucky, really. And in this battle here, I get very lucky. There's a few Minotaurs, and now we're moving in with the sonar on to push this Friesland here out, because we're keeping him spotted, and someone else is luckily actually acting on it and removing the destroyer from the map. except that he doesn't actually finish him off. So I have to just pop around the corner here and, you know, finish him off. And see how the red ships are starting to move in now that you realize, hey, we're actually probably going to lose this battle here, because they were doing well in the beginning, but then I don't know what happened. They just, I don't know, they lost their nerve, they lost their mojo, I guess. And now I can grab this cap here all by myself. There's another cruiser helping. I can't take all the credit here, but and on Epicenter, I mean, I like the map and I like the idea of this play mode here, game mode, whatever you would call it, but it needs to be tinkered with a little bit. I mean, you can see this is a very good example, this game here. Nobody really cares about the Epicenter at all. The red ships are all over the place, and it's not until I'm actually capping the whole Epicenter here that they're thinking, oh hey, wait, we might actually lose this. So my suggestion, I've suggested this to Wargaming a few times, is to up the amount of points that you get for actually capping one of the circles here. So that way you will force the ships to actually battle for the circle. I mean, that's the whole point of this mode here. Because it happens way too much that people just do their own thing and no one really cares about the Epicenter here, and then it ends up with one team losing because they run out of ships, basically. And sure, that's, you know, capture the base, but this is a different game mode and we want a different experience here. And in my opinion, the only way you can do that is to force people into the Epicenter more. So that means if someone is in the Epicenter, I think the points should probably accrue twice as fast as they do now. And as it is now, if there's more than one ship, like a red and a blue ship in the Epicenter, then it's a stalemate and nothing really happens. And I think that should be changed as well. So if there's like 2 red ships in a ring and 1 blue ship, then the red ships continue to get tickets or points, whatever you want to call it. I think that would help a lot. That would be another instrument to force ships into the Epicenter here, because if there's 4 reds but 5 blues in the Epicenter, well, then the blues are gathering points, and of course you don't want to. I mean, you don't want that to happen. So this minnow here, back to AP. I switched to AP because I was hoping he would do exactly what he's doing here, and like I said, the AP is very nasty when you can get to use it. You saw that he was flat broadside on, so it's a very well-timed attack here, if I may say so myself, because you have to be on point with the AP in this ship here, because if you miss it, like I said in the beginning, it's just a wasted salvo, and it's probably hard to recover from, honestly. So we're just keeping AP loaded here, because in case he pops out, we can get some rather nasty, easy citadels here, and I mean, sooner or later he's going to come out. But in the meantime, we have his friend over here. So we're going to take a shot at him, and then hopefully the other guy will come out sooner or later when he realizes, oh, that Atago probably like lost interest in me now. And no, I'm just waiting for you to come out, and then we'll continue our little engagement here. And you can see the incoming CC salvos here. It's that's what I call it when. Everybody shoots at the CZ, although I am surrounded by another 3 ships. So it's also a very good feeling to be back in Atago, actually, because I've missed the ship. I just don't think it's been performing very well. Like about a year ago, and then I just decided to, like, you just don't play it anymore. It's just not worth it. And I started, you know, fiddling with Edinburghs and getting them up to the agile levels, and it also worked out very well, and I kind of forgot about Atago, but she's back, and she's angry, let's put it that way. I mean, it's a very good ship, and it's a very like stable ship. Like, unless you get a very unlucky broadside from someone across a map you haven't seen, that takes you out of the battle like immediately or something like that, you're always going to have a pretty good battle in this ship here, due to like the awesome alpha damage. And as you see here, we use the AP again, because why not? and we finish off that Minotaur from earlier. And you also got the great torpedoes. I mean, the ship is just, it's fun. It really is. And I would love to see a radar on it, but of course that's not going to happen. It's going to make it way too overpowered. Because it's actually doing really well in the legendary battles at the moment. It really is. Like I said in the beginning, I don't know what it is that has changed. I think it's just me getting used to, like I said, that you can't just, bully legendaries. You can't bully a Yamato or a Kurfürst the same way that you can bully an Iowa. But it still doesn't change the fact that the battleships I fear the most to meet in Atago, or any other cruiser for that matter, is and in order of importance is obviously the Lenin, number 1, always the worst one to run into. And the second is a Margi. Anything other than that's not really that much of a problem. And again, we use the AP to remove this naughty Minotaur from the world. And that makes us 4 kills here, so I'm thinking, oh, this Minotaur here, he's gonna be my Kraken. So, just lining up the shots, and at the same time, obviously trying to dodge his, because I play Minotaur as well, and I know how difficult it is to hit a dodging, like an actively evasive cruiser from like around 10 kilometers. It's not easy. So I know that's just all I have to do, and then slowly whittle him down. And of course, I also get nasty torpedoes. The Minotaur does as well, but mine are Japanese, so there's that. I can't really think of a ship that dodges as well as Atago. I mean, when we're speaking dodging here, if we are like talking actual turning, then Atago is probably one of the worst cruisers. But if you're just dodging incoming shots, well, it certainly is one of the best ships out there. And also, it's not very tall. Like, it sits very, very low in the water. If you look, like, if you compare it to something like Albemarle, just like the lower part of the hull, like excluding the superstructure. And I think right now I thought I was gonna have my Kraken there because I'm gonna get a torp hit on that Minotaur, and I thought, oh, surely he will, sink. But nope, he just survives because he was healing. So anyway. Like, if you look at Albemarle or Baltimore or pretty much any other tier 7 cruiser, they're much taller. The actual hull section, and that's one of the things you can kind of abuse in Atago. And also the fact that it's a very slim ship, and obviously it's very fast and quite well armored for a tier 7 cruiser. Back in the days when you were playing tier 7, you were only facing tier 7 cruisers. Atago was very powerful, and like I said, really only a Margi was something that I would, give second thought as to taking on 1-to-1. Anything else, barring Lenin, of course, less of a problem. And I'm happy to say that it seems like Atago is suddenly clicking for some reason. It's doing better, it's more fun, and don't know, but if you don't have the ship left yet, then I suggest you buy it in the store. It's 750 global XP, I believe. Well, yes, it is, and it's definitely worth it. And it's a better buy than Prince Eugen, or I'd pretty much say than any of the other cruisers available. Of course, it depends on your playstyle and what you like to do and all that stuff. But if you're just looking for a new interesting ship and you don't have Atago, I think most regular players probably have Atago already. It's an old ship. It's nearly 3 years old, but it's still going strong, and it kind of speaks to how well this ship was, done in the beginning, and how powerful it also was back when we only had tier 7 ships. I mean, especially before the legendary test. I think that was Christmas 2020. So all of 2020, Atago was just amazing, so good. It's still good, but obviously you have to be a little bit more careful now. But anyway, that's about the end of the battle here. And for a legendary game, I'd say we did pretty well here. So we end up at just almost 3500 XP, 4 kills. Cheated out that Kraken there, I still think so. That Torp hit should have been a kill, but it wasn't. And we also grabbed the epicenter, and I'm pretty sure we did our part here. So it's always a joy when Atago battles like this happen. It just makes me happy. And look, that Minotaur there was also extremely well. Like, he did really, really well as well. And obviously the other team also did well. They had like 7 kills, 8 kills. So not bad at all. Very interesting battle, actually. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.